Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Aquarius Convos. I'm the host, Quentin Rashad, and here I designed this show for basically everybody to see that everybody connects, all the way down to animals, right? So I just wanted to design this show so everybody can watch it, come check it out, come listen to it, and see that we're not alone in anything, that if you give it an open mind, you can see the connection. On the show today, I have a beautiful guest by the name of Kayla.
Hello.
How you doing, Kayla? I met Kayla through a very, very dope lady, Kim. She introduced me a couple years ago. Me and Kayla just connected, and I was like, hey, you got to come talk on the show. Kayla is top of the class at NC State.
Yes, I am.
She's a psychology major
Mhm.
and a minor in
Cognitive science.
cognitive science. And I just learned this with the brain. So, tell us about yourself. Tell us where you're from. Give us some dope insight.
I'm from New Jersey. I grew up there, lived there until I was 18. And then my family moved to middle of nowhere, North Carolina. And I went to school in Florida for a year. And then I transferred to state. And now I'm here.
So, being from New Jersey,
hmm
what part of Jersey?
It's called Morristown.
That sounds like the middle of nowhere.
No, it was kind of relevant. It was smaller, but it was like a main town.
See, down south, we're gonna ask you how far is it from New York?
Right. It was probably 40 minutes from New York. My dad lived in the city, so I went
Manhattan?
there every weekend. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So the change that came, was it through family? Did your mom or your pops how did that transpire for you to come down here?
So my mom moved here in 2020. I had already decided where I was going to school, and then I hated it there. So I wanted to be out of state because I wanted to be away from the people that I went to high school with. I wanted new experiences with that. But I figured going to a school in North Carolina would feel like out of state because I didn't know anybody, and I would get in-state tuition. So
the communication being from up north to down south, I know that changed dramatically. Racism being one of them, because I think me and your mom, she mentioned a few things that you told her that I was like, oh yeah, because I was telling your mom yeah, y'all definitely gonna experience some things. Why is it like that? Do you think, is it more because it's very open-minded up north? I've noticed
why
that.
Why is it like what?
Why is it that people are closed-minded to just connecting here versus if I go, because when I went to New York, everybody was happy. I mean, you still got the underlying stuff, but it wasn't as heavy as it is here. Here it's still heavy even in 2023. Once you leave Durham, I mean, honestly, I feel like Durham's the only spot. But once you leave Durham, you definitely see it in Burlington. You see it in the Mebans. You see it in the Grams. What do you feel just being from up north and then coming down south and really going to school? What do you see as far as okay, is it generational type vibes, or what do you think?
I think there is a generational aspect to it, but I think a lot of it is just in the north. It's not there's everybody together, and there's everybody together here too, but it's more separated, and it's more everybody kind of is together but doing their own thing.
Ooh,
as groups.
Yeah.
And definitely you do see some of that in the north. Even in my high school, it was probably 50% white, and it was those are the white kids, those are the black kids, those are the Hispanic kids, and it was they kind of all still hung out with their own race or their own cultures, but it was a lot more we knew more about other people and how they lived.
I like how you said it. So down here is very everybody is separated here. It's cheaper. There's a lot of you can be in your head down here. Me, right. I literally stay alone, and this in New York or LA, this will probably be a good $5,000 a month, right? So
that in New York, way more. Yeah.
Oh, way more. Wow. So sure. and I've noticed that when it comes down to situations of decisions, people down here that just generationally speaking, they don't like black people, right? And I'm like, man, I wonder, is it because it's so spread out here that people can just come up with their own reality?
I think that's a good point, that they're spread out. Is you can, if you want to consciously or even unconscious or subconsciously, to like kind of distance yourself from other kinds of people, you're able to. I think in the North, it's you're stuck
You're
with the
stuck
people
there.
that you're around. Like
And you
you're
gotta
constantly
travel.
around
Yeah.
all these people, no matter what.
And so like that is a dope scientific thing we just figured out here. No, it really is, because up north, one thing I've noticed when me and my sister went up there, we was very excited. We was we was staying in Bayonne, which was across from Staten Island, and we had to go to some train. We got on a train. We went to Brooklyn, then we went to Hoboken. Hoboken was kind of racist, right? But it wasn't like the racism there was a little bit more class type vibes versus down here. It's like
It's
they just
a
don't fuck
lot.
with you.
That's a good point. I think down here, like, what's the word? Like, not hatred, but dislike for people, or like racism, but
Yeah.
it's not the same. Like, I think in the North, it's a lot more about socioeconomic status
Yeah.
than it is, which, like, obviously race and gender and all that contributes to that. But I think that's a lot more of what people are focused on than here. It's more like literally, what color are you?
Literally, it doesn't matter what you do here. If you're this, that's what you are. My mom is from Oxford, North Carolina, and it is, and it's crazy because because of the separation in the space here, the communication is different. When I go to Oxford, they have a lingo. Like I have I call her my step grandmother. Doctor, give me. She talk like this, right? But it's a real thing, and they know what she's saying. But my mom, she took us, and we grew up in Durham, which is about 40 minutes from Oxford. And people would be like, "Are you from New York, down south?" I'm like, "No, I'm from here." They was like, "You just talk so," and I'm like, "I just talk clear." I'm not. I don't think I talk like I'm from New York. My mom was, she's a child care provider, so she made sure we didn't talk like, what she's from, because she knew that.
You do kind of sound like you could be from the North,
and it's crazy.
Like, you don't sound Southern.
Yeah. So my mom, she foreseen the future of you're going to need to understand words. So she was real big on it. But in Oxford, they talk so different, and it's not even bad. It's actually, it's almost like a lingo. They have their own language or whatever. But I just noticed that, all right, things are growing now, right? Durham is getting to a place that I like, but I'm seeing, just in my city, I'm seeing different types of people, and the communication is coming from a way of like, and these people are from New York, these people are from Vegas, these people are from LA, and when they come here, they have a sense of freedom, and it's weird because I'm like, well, what are you free about? And they like, it's just, I feel like they can control the narrative here, and that's what's been happening here.
I think a lot of people, no matter where they move, like I think if people moved from the North to the South or from the South to the North, they would feel a sense of freedom, of just like freedom from their routines and like freedom of what they're used to.
Yeah.
So like me moving down here, it's a lot of like, I just have like more free time. Like there's just less things to do, or like more freedom to like just slow down kind of. But I think in the North, like when I go back home, it's like I have the freedom to like go do things, like I was just in New York, and it was like we were trying to see what we were going to do on a random Wednesday, and we were like, oh, let's just look up what there is to do in New York. I feel like here I have to plan like a week ahead of time, because there's one thing available to do.
I would say Durham is getting to a point where you don't have to do that now. Like it's becoming super dope. It's just restaurants and eats and stuff here.
Right.
But I will say that us not being able to do a lot of stuff, it does contribute to creativity here, though. Like me, I literally.
If you're a creative person, if not,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think it would definitely go in the opposite direction.
I wonder how the suicide rate is down here than versus New York. I'm gonna look that up actually. Like, cause
That'd be interesting.
That's an interesting thing, because it's like again, if you drive from here to like Greensboro, it's nothing. Woods.
Right.
And it's like when you pull, you be like, yo, what year we in? And it's nothing's changed here. So.
And also the stressors are different.
Explain that. Break that down.
Like, I guess one thing, for example, is just like money. Like in New York, things are just more expensive, and I think that's with the way the economy is right now. That's more of a stress for people there than it would be here. Obviously, it's a stress everywhere. But I think I haven't lived here long enough to like know what the main stressors for people here would be. But I think up there it's like just like financial responsibilities, and also just like constantly moving and doing things is like the main things that stress people out or would cause them to, just think negatively. I think it would be different things here.
I think the stress here is change. I think people like me and my brother and the guy that's filming this, like, I feel like you want change here, but like I said, when you drive from here to G-Bro, there is no change, and it's sad because the potential is so great.
I would say it's starting to change though, because I live out in Medvin, and that's the middle of nowhere, and it's starting to grow.
It's starting to grow, yeah. But look how deep we are into the future.
Right.
We're in 2023.
Right, and it's just starting to grow. Right.
It's not, yeah. So, and we've been seeing this. We want to change, but it is at a good point now that like kids can do a lot of stuff here now. There's a lot more to do. So, back with your mom moving you down here with the and you going to school. When you were up here, you find yourself in NC State. What inspirations did you have to just reach that high level of being, no, seriously, like to reach this high level of being number one? Because when I talked to you outsiders, you was so like, oh, it's just what I do. But I'm like, I wanted just a New York mentality, because up down here, it's like, that's beautiful to be top of the class. So it's like, what do you feel that you have over people that's from here, or just period? Like, is it a relationship with your mom? Is it with your father? Like, what do you feel contributes to that? I
don't know. I really wish that I did, but
I have a guess.
I was telling, okay, go ahead.
No, go.
Okay. Like I was telling you before, like growing up, I was like, that was just my role. Like I was just the smart one. I always just did good in school. I don't know that I would say it's natural intelligence. I think just the way that the education program is set up is not a lot of people, and it just happens to be good for me.
That's actually deep.
Like I'm good at like rote memorization, and like people tell me things and I just remember it, and that's like really important.
I was gonna ask, did you go into Jewish schools?
No. I went to like a Hebrew school on Sundays, but I didn't go to private school.
So you was in public schools?
Yeah.
Because I know your mom went to Jewish schools.
Mm-hmm. So did my dad.
Really? And so they didn't require y'all to require you and your brother? What? That's what's up. Okay, boom. At a point. Your mom and dad being raised in this environment, in this school. It's because I went to private school. I went to a school down here called Mount Zion. It was way different than being in public schools, right? Do you think that their structure of having what they had, and because they want it to be free, basically, because your mom is, that's one thing I do like about her. She's big on, hey, you should make your own decisions. You should be able to do what you want, right? So her discipline you and her freedom that she provided, the freedom that she expressed to you to be able to be yourself, do you think that played a role into you being able to, because when you go to a public school and you went back home, the structure was still different though, right? Because homes are different. Your structure, from me hanging out with y'all got a different structure. It's not a bad structure. You are very cool with your mom. That's not a normal thing.
There's a lot of freedom in my house. A lot of go experiment.
And to be yourself.
Be yourself.
I've seen them photos with the aliens smoking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you feel, because we're tapping into the psychological realm here, should freedom, with having children, because we don't have kids, but just being kids ourselves, should freedom be exaggerated or just pushed upon raising your kids to make so their performance level can go up? Because I've noticed that.
I don't know that it made my performance level go up. And I think that I got very lucky because a big reason that my mom was very big on experiment, and not experiment, but experience things, was because she couldn't when she was growing up. She was just born into a very religious family and just had to live that way until college. And my dad had a very different experience where he kind of wanted to be very religious and chose that life for himself. So they definitely gave me different viewpoints on it and different ways that they would like me to live my life.
Yeah. Your dad did too?
Did what?
He was in agreement with your mom with this?
I wouldn't say he was in disagreement, but he definitely would not have let us experience as many things or not experience things, but he wouldn't have let us just kind of do our own thing as much.
So your mom was, between the two, your mom allowed y'all to kind of just live your life in a sense.
Yeah.
And your dad was more so
and I think part of it was just like she was a single mom, and like
that plays a big role. Yeah.
There was hours in the day where she just wasn't there, and there was nobody there.
When you see single moms, from me just substituting, you see a various amount of situations. You'll see, and it all plays a role into the connection the parent has with the child. So when I met your mom and I saw y'all, I used to tell her, like, yo, this is amazing. Like, not trying to say I didn't have it. My mom was cool, but it's like when my dad got home, it was like I'm wife. But when he left, she was mom.
Right.
But I noticed that with y'all, I see your brother, the talent he has. Jack, he's allowed to just be as free as he wants to with his thoughts and how he feels. You come in, but you're out of all of them that I've seen, you're more of the free spirit one, right? So I'm like,
we didn't always have a good relationship, though. We had a very bad relationship, I would say, until we moved here, and then it was just like
so you came to the South.
I don't know that the South had to do with it, but we didn't know anybody that lived here. So it was just 6 months of us sitting in the house with each other. So it was like...
How did y'all, like, what conclusions did you come up with? Because your mom's not here to say this, right? What did you come up with to say, you know what, I'm going to make sure we get good?
Well, there was just, like, some things that were happening at home in Jersey that we, like, kind of got away from, and I think that was a big thing that pushed us apart when it was happening, so it brought us together when it was over. But she's like just an amazing person. Like, she's awesome to hang out with. Yeah. So I think I really realized that I was like being rebellious for no reason. Like, a lot of people rebel because like half the fun of doing the things is you're not supposed to be doing it.
Humans naturally do that.
Right. Yeah. So once I was like, there's not, like, she's giving me a safe space to do all the things I want to do or say what I want to say. So there's no reason to like go as extreme with it anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of wanted to just meet her in the middle. And again, like, she was my only friend that I saw for like months.
So you found the appreciation of what she was doing.
Yeah.
I went through that recently with my mom and dad. I'm like, I don't have kids. Like, this shit had to be hard, right? So with that being done, right, my pastor that I go to every now and then, he said something that was interesting. He said that you don't get what you deserve, you get what you decide, right? And that was a really deep, and not all things, it was just about like the baseline of it. Like, you can't help if you get sick or whatever, but the baseline of like what you want to do, right? So with you doing that, right, because you could have went opposite, you know what I'm saying? But you made that conscious decision of, as I call, accountability. You know, I'm like, because your mom, there's a fault that she has too, right? There's something that she was doing to contribute to making you respond a certain way. Because no parent is perfect.
And again, a lot of like my freedom and experiences in high school or when I was younger were not necessarily because she was like, go out and have fun. I just was that kid that I was like, I'm going to do whatever I want. And you can't tell me I can't, you know? And it was very hard to control me, I think.
Right. And now you're not like that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I still am. Like, I'm going to do what I want.
With some balance, though.
But it's not like, but I don't want to do, like, harmful, negative things. So,
I'm about to say,
you know what I mean?
To be 3.9 at a very NC State is a really nice school. That means your decisions, if you are capable, like you're saying, to do what you want, if you're doing that, imagine what happens if you keep that momentum.
And that was a big thing too when I was younger, was like, since my thing was like I was the one that was good at school, my mentality was, well, like, I have, ever since I started working, I've been working like a full-time job. I really enjoy it.
You do work like a Jamaican.
Yeah.
I would say that.
So I was kind of just like, well, as long as I keep my grades up, then I can work as much as I want. I can party as much as I want. I can hang out with whoever I want, and nobody can say anything because I still have straight A's. So like,
So your conclusions.
that was my like everything's still okay in my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting good grades, so I can do whatever else.
So just naturally, your conclusions of whatever you decided, you put in the forefront. Let me do this right, so I can do what I want to do. And you did it that well.
I don't know that it was like natural. That was like That's big part of my dad's family was like, we don't want you to work as much because it's gonna hurt your grades or whatever. Like
Smart
my
family.
whole life, it's just been focus on school. Like even now, they're like, we don't want you to work as much. We want you to focus on school.
And you're still working.
Yeah.
You're a hard worker. Like that's something I really did appreciate you when I met you, because a lot of people are lazy.
I don't like it. I really like going to work every day.
No, you
even
do.
If I don't love my job, like I enjoy going and doing it and making money, and
that's going to play a major role into your success. I'm telling you,
I hope so.
I'm telling you at 34 years old, passing it down to you. If you don't change that momentum, because things are going to happen to you in life. You don't know. You could lose somebody close to you, whatever. Take that part and just apply it with the nature of you, right? Because something nurtured you to do that. Like, nature versus nurture, right? Mm-hmm. Like something put that in you. Whoever did it, thank you. Because, that is something, that's kind of why I won't give up on music. People look at me, man, you're 34, you're not going to do. I'm like, nah, there's something that got nurtured in me from my mom and my father, and just being around my mom in the studio, being young, watching her sing. That affected me. Like I was 5 years old watching my mom sing all the time. A guy, his name is James Carroll, RIP to him, he passed. He was making beats, like literally making beats. And I'm in there like, don't know what's going on. Making beats, truly enjoying it. And that, just those moments put in me, I gotta take this where I'm going. So that is so interesting. And I think that's a beautiful thing to always, and it's a very attractive thing, especially if you're trying to be with somebody. A good man, in my opinion, that's what, because men don't care about taking care of nobody. It's naturally in us, right?
That's crazy you say that.
It's true though.
It's because my boyfriend and I just the other day were having an argument about this, because like growing up, he had like a lot of like traditional, this is what men do, this is what women do kind of mindsets drilled into him. And we had a whole thing where he was like, no, I want to take care of you. And I was like, no, I want to be able to take care of you. And it was like,
y'all got to find a common ground.
Yeah. And it was like, I'm a very strong-willed person. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's very hard to find that common ground, because he's like, well, this is what makes me feel like a man. This is, like I don't want you working too hard. And it's not like I don't want you to make more money, that kind of vibe. Yeah. It's just like,
he wants to spend time with you.
Yeah, he wants to be able to like take care of me. But
I would say, as a man, the common ground, I tell a lot of women this. Women run everything. Y'all really do. Like, I was telling one of my homegirls, I'm like, I said, if it's consensual, no matter what, the woman has to decide. Like, that's the rule of the game. Well, I would say unfortunately, but that is the ultimate rule.
I think now, I was actually going to say this before, like with a lot of things, a lot of like movements happening now, the pendulum is like swinging in the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. So like people, like before it was like men decided everything all the time, always. And women.
White men decided.
Fair. Yeah, white men.
Was not us.
But even if you take a black man and a black woman, mm-hmm. the black man was still in charge.
Well, no, I wouldn't. Just being honest from where I'm from. We was in charge. We got taught weird ways because our in charge was still answering to somebody. So even when we went home, there was no charge. Like, your woman didn't see you. Like, now, a black man is in charge. Before, mm-hmm. If you say something wrong to this white man,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So that affects the home. We are in charge now. The stock is up on being black. I can definitely tell you that. Like, we can definitely do what we want to do, but. And I think that behavior that he has, I don't know if his mom if he's singing cool as pops, but somebody nurtured that into him. And the balance that has to happen is he's going to have to allow you to be great.
Right.
And because you being great will contribute, and him allowing that will contribute to him understanding a woman. Women carry kids. I mean, and I was telling my homeboy this. His girl had a baby, and I'm like, he's like, yo, postpartum, how I deal with this. I'm like, bro, if a human being came out of your dick, bro, we talking about your penis. Your penis is super little, and something big as hell came out. I said, how would you want to be treated? And he was like, I got you. And you know what I'm saying? He's been good ever since, right? And I'm like, it's that simple. Like, it's not this scientific mode here. It's just there's somebody that came out of this person, allowed them to be free. And this, you know.
Well, okay, so that's what I was saying. So I think, okay, I guess, yeah. So let's say white men historically have been in charge, and the woman is just there to just do whatever they want them to do.
Like they won't count. Yeah.
So I think recently in the past 10, 20 years, the pendulum has kind of swung to the other side where women are like, no, I want all the power. And hopefully we can like meet in the middle with it.
Yeah.
But that's what I was trying to say before with like, just like all of the movements that are happening right now where I think people are realizing they have to kind of like bargain with society where they have to be like I was talking to somebody about like plus size models, and they were like, yeah, like they're saying that they want everybody to be fat and that that's okay and whatever. And personally, I think that is okay, and I don't have a problem with that. I think you can be overweight and healthy, and I think you can be underweight and unhealthy. But
that is very true.
I think they have to swing the pendulum so far in the opposite direction that we meet in the middle to be like, being any size is okay, not that one is amazing and one is bad. You know what I mean?
Yes. Speaking of meeting in the middle, the rabbit hole that we're about to go into right now is we're going to take a 5-minute break, and I'm going to play for you guys a very beautiful song written, arranged, and produced by Mr. Quentin Rashad Evans. But give us, some time, and we're going to get back to this, and we're going to start with meeting in the middle.
Okay.
You got me in my feelings all the time, and I don't think I'll find another
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. I hope you guys enjoyed the record, Lip Gloss and Perfume. Written and produced by me, as I said. It's a record I wrote back in 2016, one of my mom's favorite records, shooting a visual for it. And the visual will be out by the time you guys receive this, so I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, back to where we was at. We was talking about meeting in the middle with all things, right? The ideal of meeting in the middle, to me, is like, that takes some serious emotional intelligence. Because meeting in the middle, to me, comes with vibes of like, you got to step outside of you and you got to really look into this person. And that's why you got to ask certain questions. A lot of people are just dating or just building relationships, and they're building it with no foundation. They're building it with a very weak type of material. So when a hurricane comes, guess what happens? Blows it down. When a flood comes, guess what happens? Mess it up. And you have to build any type of relationship with great, long-lasting materials. That's why brick houses, they still last. And so what do you feel is meeting in the middle when it comes down to any type of vibes? Because people don't do that nowadays. They did back in the day,
I think there's a lot of different aspects to it. I think you kind of have to figure out what are things that are important to you in a relationship, and then make sure that those things line up, or at least that you can talk about those things without it being an argument. So for me, one of the things is arguing. Like, that happens with every relationship. You're going to have disagreements, but like, I'll never get yelled at. Like, I'll never yell at you, and you'll never yell at me. Yeah. Like, that's like a very important thing to me. So I think if I was with someone who liked to yell at people, then that wouldn't work out,
I was about to say, because I've yelled at people, but and
that's okay. That just wouldn't work for me.
No. I don't yell at people, right? The problem that I've faced where...
You get loud. You just have a loud voice.
No. I've yelled, but it's always based on... I knew I should have left at a point, because it's normally when I get to that point, you've done something to me so many times, and at this point, I just had a meltdown, right? But I always come back and apologize. That's one thing I've learned at being like, just getting older, is that like, there are certain things I will not let a person cross me on, but I'm always open to if they come back and genuinely mean it. Because people make mistakes, right? They will fuck up. Like, they will fuck up every time. Like, there's a friend of mine who's going through a situation with their relationship, and the person definitely did some shit that naturally they should leave, but they are invested with each other. First thing I was like, hey, I think that what I'm learning is when you're in something, take genuine steps to make sure that this person just had a moment, because if the person is good for you, they're good for you. And you got to recognize that. That's one thing I've noticed. And like, I don't want to live in my zone of like, well, this is what I don't allow and what I don't allow, that I miss out on. Somebody gonna come fuck your zone up. And it's a part of communication. But is the person fucking my zone up, are they good for me? Have they done things for me?
Right, it's not gonna be good all the time.
It's not gonna be good all the time. But I'm a big believer of apologizing. I don't care how many times you do it, but don't apologize about the same thing though.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think apologizing works to an extent. And then it's like, well, I think it becomes a big issue when people just keep doing something they know is wrong, and they're like, well, I'll just apologize, and then it'll be okay.
I don't like that.
Then it's not genuine.
Yeah, I don't like being lied to for no reason. If you lied because you had a legit reason, I might overlook past it, but at the same time, the type of person that I am...
Like, what's a valid lie?
A valid lie?
Like, what's a good reason?
A valid lie. This is a good one, actually. Welcome to the rabbit hole.
Like, just tell me. Like, I'm going to probably get angry in the moment, or I'll get sad or whatever, but I'm going to get angry or sad later when you tell me the truth or I find it out. So just tell me in the first place.
So let's go here, though. What a valid lie. If the lie isn't harming finances, if it isn't harming my peace, because you might lie to surprise me, you might be like, like my sister lied
But
to my mom.
what's like a lie that
That's
you
bad.
wouldn't like but you'd forgive?
That I wouldn't like?
Yeah, that if someone lied about something, they came to you later and they said, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that."
A lie that's... This is fucked up because I don't know. But if I had to take a guess, I'm very open-minded. Like if I was with a girl and she cheated on me and she legit like was hurt by it, I would...
She was hurt by the fact that she cheated on you?
It happens. People do it. Like it's weird as hell. But if I genuinely ask questions of like, yo, because the first thing I'm gonna ask is, what was I doing that, led you to do this? Like, I'm always gonna blame myself in a sense, because I'm like, what made you do it? But if she legit can admit that there's a problem that she has, because some people have problems. If hey, I have an issue, like I want this type of vibes, blase, and she's willing to genuinely seek help and fix it, and we move on and we keep between us, I would definitely forgive that person. Because my thing is, things happen, and in relationships, that's a deep one. Because I've seen people get down on some vibes like that. Young me
I don't know
wouldn't
that
do
I
it.
could be cheated on.
I was about to say,
I have two rules. I'm like, don't cheat on me and don't hit me.
But here's the thing, though.
Other than that, maybe we can talk about it.
I feel that way, but the older I get, the more I realize that decisions are deep. And they come with these wild...
But sometimes they're
things.
not. It's like...
Well, no, what are we talking about at this point? Like, sometimes they're not deep.
Like, when it comes to cheating with someone, it's like, yes, sometimes I will say there is like a fine line, and like that's something that couples have to talk about. Like, is flirting cheating? Is kissing cheating? You have to figure out what
cheating.
Right. For me, it's like anything that you do with someone that you're attracted to that you don't want to tell me about, that's cheating.
So let's say, all right, so here's the thing with cheating though. What if you were doing something that really caused them to have to do that?
What would I do that would make him...
It could be...
I don't like that.
No, and see, that's the thing. People have this ideal of... I'm not trying to promote cheating, but what I'm saying is, if I'm not showing affection, you know what I'm saying?
Then
you should leave, right?
No, I should come to you and I should say, like, if not showing affection is something that's abnormal in your relationship, then...
But in reality, are people doing that, though?
You should find... I don't know.
They're
but that
not doing
doesn't
that.
mean that it's right.
No, exactly. None of it is right.
You should go to the person and say, hey, what's wrong? Why are you feeling some type of way? Did something happen? Whatever. Not, I'm not finding affection here. I'm going to go find it somewhere else. That's not fair.
That's what I'm saying. This is a complicated situation that I'm growing to learn that it's way deeper than it sounds.
I don't think it's black and white always, but I think a lot of times people overlook the power of a conversation and the power of just being like, hey, is something wrong?
But then, okay, it's another rabbit hole. So it's like when you really care about somebody, it is a weird thing that you find. That's why you gotta be very careful who you love. Because whoever you love, you are going to accept things that is unbelievable. You are going to go against grains that you thought you would never go against. Hell, you might start taking photos with certain clothes that you couldn't imagine wearing, right? But it's like when you really care about that person, you overlook it. So that's what I'm saying from that angle. If I'm loving this person and that happens, I don't see myself just saying, I'm out of here. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it because I've spent time with you and I care about you. I don't think that would make me this weak-minded individual, because I'm not saying you think that way. I'm just saying.
And I think that's actually the whole point, is that this is your foundation. So if that's something that you could be lenient with or something that you could look past, then that's fine. That's you. Me personally, I don't think I could.
No,
that's my building blocks is my relationship.
No, it should be that way. But see, and I'm not bringing
there
age.
Are plenty of people that look past it and they have great, healthy relationships afterward.
Yeah, I can't. So that's what I was saying. I'm not going to bring age into this, but life is going to put you in a place that you're going to eat that alive. Because I was there, like, I was judging. My mom and dad's situation, I was very judgmental. Like, yo, you cheated on mom. But as I get older and I see people, and I see walks of life, and you go down to the history of it. And some people don't give a fuck enough to do that, right? I do. So that's why if I am going to, when I date and I'm with somebody and I'm exclusive, there are very important tools that I bring because of the knowledge of me just understanding things from listening. I ask questions. Yo, Dad, what happened? Because I'm not going to go to my pops and be like, oh, you cheated. Why? No, tell me what you experienced and let's talk about it, right? That's an open space. Mom, what was you do? And mom, and it's like when you put people in that space for them to not be judged, the answers was blowing my mind. And second, it made me realize that, man, a lot of people are cheating because they are afraid of each other. It has nothing to do with them not even liking each other. It has a lot to do with I'm uncomfortable, or you don't touch me, and that's why I take time. I tell people, date. Don't hop in nothing. You need to talk to this person. Y'all have to have experiences. I'm not saying be mean to each other, but study the reactions. Take notes on how this person comes and how they respond. I'm not in a relationship, right? So somebody might watch this and be like, this nigga ain't even no relationship, right? But at the same time, again, I have a relationship with the guy behind the camera.
Right, there are relationships.
Me and you have
romantic, familial,
and I respect everything about you. That's why we get along, because I put those same tools into, hey, how are you doing? Because you don't have to be here. You came here off of the street.
People don't appreciate that. Like, friendships are relationships, and
they are,
and familial relationships are relationships, and you should put the same amount of effort into them.
Yes, like with all my friends. Because I'm learning too with dating, like I eat healthy. I can't control that. I mean, I can, but I enjoy eating healthy, right? But my friends come to me and they ask me serious questions, like, this is what I'm going through. So I always tell them, man, eating healthy contributes significantly, how you say it? Significantly with decisions. And I would love to do a poll with everyone that cheated. This is gonna sound crazy, but everyone that cheated, be like, yo, what was your diet like? Are you a carnivore? What exactly was you eating? And see, like, people that were eating healthy.
Do you still eat vegan, or you just cook vegan?
I'm more so plant-based. Meaning I'm like 98%.
I cook like I'm vegetarian.
There you go. And you know what's crazy? Yeah, you do eat good and you make really good food. But back to what I'm saying. I think dieting and what you eat plays a role too, making decisions. A lot of people are making strange decisions, can't figure out why. The food, what you're consuming, what are you drinking? Are you drinking liquor every single day? Are you drinking water? If you don't drink enough water, do you know that you'll be delusional? You'll start making shit up. You know what I'm saying? So like with this happening, I go into like, what was y'all diet like? When y'all sat at this table and ate together, was y'all frying chicken and pork chop, eating biscuits with gravy? That seems fun. And that doesn't mean you're going to cheat on somebody or not, but you will not care about certain things if you're not eating good. It could be a factor. It could be a factor. So I hope you stay the way you feel when it comes down to, you shouldn't go against what you believe. But it's strange because that gets tested when you start to love somebody.
I agree.
It's scary.
I also think that because I make it such a point, like that's like in the beginning? That's like, yeah, like that's like one of my like main things.
So if you cheat on me, I'm out.
Like, yeah, like I'll just walk away. Like I'll pretend like I've never, like I don't know you.
Can you do that?
I think I could. Like, if somebody really cheated on me.
You could pretend like you never knew them.
Yeah.
Come on, Kat.
I could.
Okay, we're talking about somebody you love.
I know. Because this is what I was going to say.
Well, that's because you love yourself. I can.
But because if you really love me enough, like, you're going to go against one of my, like, few fundamental things that I really value. Like, if you really are going to disrespect me that hard, then no, I don't think I could love you anymore.
Let's say you're dating, right? Well, you're dating now, but we're on a date, whatever. What are your fundamentals?
Don't cheat on me.
Is that number one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't hit me.
Of course.
That's like,
Jesus.
I mean, that's like.
You gotta say that shit.
But it's like I have to say don't cheat on me,
Yeah.
Like, those are just, I think those two are just things that when I think of, like, people in
those are two?
relationships. No, I have other things, but
What's the third one? I want to know the third one.
like communication. Like, when you have a problem, I'm a very straightforward person. So when you have a problem, I need you to just tell me, hey, this is a problem, rather than we
that.
pretend it doesn't exist until one of us blows up.
Watch this, an Aquarius moment. You know, Aquarius got to come in and like, I think that should be number one.
And like, like, realistically,
It should
is,
be. That
but
should be the
also,
first thing you say.
Like, if we had like an off day and we weren't communicating as much, I'm not going to leave you.
No, but
as much as if I catch you cheating on me.
The typical shit is don't cheat on me.
Right. That's all the typical stuff. So then if we're talking about like me personally, what my wants and needs are, communicating with me.
Right.
And also accepting my communication, because I can come off kind of aggressive and strong sometimes.
I don't see that. It's crazy
when
you say
I'm
that.
just what?
Word? You really come off aggressive?
A lot of the times, yeah, because I don't sugarcoat things. I think, especially when I'm very comfortable with the person, first thing I think of, I'm going to say it. And I sometimes will call people out for things that they don't necessarily need to be called out for. So I think like understanding how I communicate and me understanding how they communicate and making sure that those will work well together is very important.
Because communication is a weapon of mass destruction. It is a tool in a box, as I call it, the skeleton key. It can unlock any lock, right? Mm-hmm. People do not talk about that. They go straight to me. Communication is never about you. It's about the belief system that we're going to create, because you'll never meet somebody that's on your level. I've learned that. You're going to meet somebody that you're going to have to introduce to your level, and they're going to have to introduce you to their level. And y'all got to have that common courtesy to accept these levels, because no level is higher. I don't like the class. People got these class levels. Like, people might look at Beyonce and be like, she's happy. No, I can take you to Oxford, North Carolina right now. And it's people that don't got what Beyonce have, and you will have a blast with them. There's a saying that says, is it paradise because it only blows your mind, right? Paradise is the fact that we all got feet and toes to balance, right? That's what I'm saying. So when it comes down to communication, I'm learning with dating is that, like, you need to be open-minded to talk to me, right? But you can't do that if you don't love yourself. Because a lot of women come to me like, what do you require in a woman? I'm like, oh, she has to love herself.
I don't think you have to love yourself in order to love someone else.
How? That's impossible.
I don't think so.
Talk about it. That's what this show is about.
I think somebody can very much help you learn to love yourself and help you find ways and things about yourself to love.
This is a rabbit hole, because I've never disagreed with you, but I'm going to disagree with you on this one. So you don't feel...
I think that's a very important part of a relationship, is to make sure that the other person, maybe not make sure they love themselves, but to help them love themselves more and to help them find things about themselves.
We're talking about love here. Like, you think that... So, all right. So I think the where we at right now is, what do you feel loving yourself is?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know this. All right, so what's your idea? Because you know something right now. Your feelings are valid, right? So let's validate what you feel. You know it. What do you feel at this current point in life right now? Because you're a very unique person. You know what I'm saying? So what do you feel is loving yourself right now? It could be...
I think I'm at like not a weird stage, but a different stage in my life where like I am just happier with myself and happier with just my life. And I think like a big part of that is just like waking up and being like, okay, this is who I am.
That's part of loving
yourself,
right?
It's going to be a good day.
Right.
Just because this is who I am.
You going to work. That's a part of loving yourself. You just wanting to have your things.
Like taking care of yourself.
Right.
Those are all important things.
So when I say that the woman has to love herself, it doesn't mean she got to like do yoga or meditate. Because I've met people who did yoga that them not loving themselves, the yoga was the most backwards thing ever. Loving yourself is accepting where you are in the moment. and not fighting it. People
and
fight
I think
it.
that other people can help you to do that. I
What-
don't think you have to do that all by yourself and then go find
No,
other
you don't.
people.
But you can't. Here's the thing: if they don't want to accept where they are and they're fighting it, there is nothing you can do for that person. Unfortunately,
They don't have to necessarily
It's
be
a reality
fighting
thing.
it, though. They could be trying to love themselves. They're just not there yet.
to me, the beauty of love is there is no trying. You either do it or you don't. And trying is loving yourself. There's no, like, love doesn't have stages, right? Waking up, like me doing this, right? I mean,
I think love has stages.
how?
I think
Because to me, it's eternity. How can eternity have stages?
I think that, like, for example, if we're talking about romantic relationships, like, you can love your partner as a partner, and then you have children and you love that person as a father, or you love that person as a husband, or
But
whatever.
what's the core to it, though? Because you can't say that if you don't have a core value.
I guess, but I think you can love people in different ways.
Well, of course, love is
like,
multidimensional. Yeah.
Like, you can love one person
But
in
but is
different
love-
ways, and you can find new ways, therefore making it more
I was about to
love.
say, can you mix love with romance? Is that even
Yes.
possible? How?
What do you mean?
So, is there really a different love from holding your baby to your mom?
Yeah.
How? We're talking about love here.
Again, I think you can love one person in different ways, and I think you can love different people in different ways.
But are the ways different than love, though? Because if I love you, like, I can't say, and I'm not saying, like, basically, if I love Kim, right, that's going to make me love you automatically because you are a part of Kim and Kim loves you. I'm not going to love Kim any different. Whatever I do with her, that's outside of love. That's a choice that I'm making. Love it chooses you almost. You know what I'm saying? In my belief, in my reality. That's why I like these talks, because in my realm, when it comes down to someone loving you, they have to really seek and come to you and listen to you. Because one thing that I really admired about Kim when I met her, and I didn't like it at first, but she was like, you got to meet my kids. I'm like, yo, hold the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I ain't ready. But she was very strong about it. And
I think also, not to toot my own horn, but we're not like most people's kids. In the sense of, like,
you guys aren't. No. It's,
in the way of, like, oh, come meet my kids. It wasn't.
I wouldn't even say it was about
wasn't
that.
like the normal way that you'd go meet someone's kids.
It wasn't about that. It was just, I've met kids and I fell in love with the kids, and the mom became very selfish. What I liked about your mom is she didn't intertwine with, like, what I built with everybody. She, you know, whatever we had, boom. And that to me is just the love she has in general. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Like, that to me plays a role. Like, I'm not going to treat nobody different.
Let's say you have a friend that you love and that's your best friend, and then you end up being romantic with them. Now you still love them, but you love them in a different way. And I think because you're adding more ways that you love them more.
I don't see love.
Like, I love my friends, and I love my boyfriend, and I love my mom, and I love my brothers, but I love them all in very different ways.
But does love has anything to do with you being romantic with one person and not being romantic with the next person? Wouldn't love just be the core?
Yes, but then I think that you add romance to it, and now it's a different kind of love.
So, right, what is that kind of love?
I don't know how to answer that question.
I believe there is no types. There's only one love. And that love is acceptance. It's understanding that person. I learned that from
I think when you're in a relationship romantically with someone and when you're in a relationship platonically with someone, you have different limits to which you can accept things.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like this conversation because that threw me off right there. Yeah, that is because, but I'm not going to change the way I love the kid than the mother just because me and the mom is romantic. Like, me and the mom being romantic, I'm still going to love the kid just as much as I love the mom. I'm not going to change that part of love. But love to me is multidimensional, but in a sense of, like, acceptance. Like, if I'm being romantic with you, okay, let's go there. Say, for instance, you are being romantic with somebody, right? and this is my belief of why love is the core. They get in an accident, lose their legs, dick won't go up no more. You can never be romantic with this person again. You gonna leave them?
No.
Why not?
I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying the romance has to be there in order for you to love them. I think it's just another level to the love. And also, you can still be romantic without having sex.
Break it down. Right. So, but that you saying that is because love is the core. Like, to me, like, love is this.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I think with different people, you have that core of love. And then with different people, you have different types of levels and different types of acceptance and different types of, therefore, love with those people.
And just to end this on a good note, which is everything with you is on a good note. I think the lesson of this connection that I'm having with you right now is understanding that if it's multidimensional and you have an idea and I have an idea, we're both right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't be wrong about how you love somebody.
You cannot be wrong about how you love somebody.
I'm well.
Well, okay.
I might take that back.
No. Hey, if you do, you do. But my thing is, I have grown to learn that if a person hasn't developed the care and the love for themselves, it is impossible to love them. As far as to love them as far as a partnership, but you can love them from a distance. But if they won't accept who they are and what they bring,
just like as a friend? Could you love that person as a friend if they didn't love themselves?
You're my friend regardless.
So that kind of just proved my point that in order to be romantic with them, it has to have a different kind of love.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna continue to waste my time with you though, because you don't want to see it. You gotta want to see it. And the only way you're gonna want to see something is you gotta see it.
But if it's your friend,
yourself.
then it's okay. Or if it's what about your mom? Could you love your mom if she didn't love herself?
If she doesn't see something that needs to be changed, I can't bring that change.
You can't. That's not your job.
So that's what I'm saying. You need to love yourself enough to go within you to understand that I need to bring change. Because with loving yourself, it brings eternity to all relationships. Because you love you and I love me, now we can intertwine. That's why if you see the infinity, it's a figure 8. You know what I'm saying? But to break this down, love is multidimensional. And I think the beautiful part of it is it's endless. The possibilities, the ideas. And that, my friends, the ones I love listening to this show, is Aquarius Convo. Kayla, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you. This was fun.
You've been a blessing. Thank you so much. Until we meet again, people.